So this is the second video, and today's second video is going to be on a preview. Now again, we're learning about the CFL and their teams, players, things like that. And CFL posted the team preview for the 2022 season. This one is the first one's gonna be the Ottawa Red Blacks, and then we're gonna take a look at the BC Lions. Now I want to go see, I'm close to BC, Vancouver, BC, and I do want to check out the BC Lions. I do want to see one of their games. I really want to see Calgary play, but that's a little ways away. And why not go see something that's like 2-3 hours away? So the first one's gonna be Ottawa, and it's about 3 minutes and 12 seconds. Then we'll do the BC Lions one next as well. So again, subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the comment section, and share the video out. Helps the algorithm, y'all. Let's just get right to it.
Here with your team preview of the 2022 Ottawa Red Blacks. The last time that we saw the Red Blacks on the field, it was not pretty. They were just 3-11 in a short 14-game season, and they had 2 of their 3 wins over the last place.
Damn, how long is his dreads? God damn.
They were dead last in the CFL in 14 of 20 offensive statistical categories, including just 16 points per game, as quarterbacks changed and evolved throughout the season, beginning with Matt Nichols, on to Dominique Davis, then came in Caleb Evans, Doug Hodges got some time. It was a revolving door.
Damn, how many quarterbacks they gonna go
the growing
through?
Pains of Paul Appolise's first year in Ottawa made it a difficult viewing experience. Now, what has happened since then? Well, Marcel Desjardins, the general manager of the Red Blacks, was let go. In comes Sean Burke from the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and he brought the cavalry with him, namely a quarterback, Jeremiah Masoli. And if you were...
Whoa! Hey, yo! I know they just lost the Grey Cup this past season, but to get Jeremiah Masoli, that's a pickup. That's a move right there. I'll give them that. I mean, Jeremiah Masoli is pretty damn good from what I remember of him and what I saw in, his time in Oregon, and then he went to play elsewhere and blah, blah, blah. I know Jeremiah. I know a little bit about Jeremiah. I ain't gonna say I know all about him, but I know a little bit of what I've seen. Boy can ball. So that's a steal. Ottawa got a steal right there. That's pretty good.
For watching online with Behind the R, you saw the Masoli effect when it came to recruiting. In came Jalen Ackman, receiver from Hamilton, BJ Cunningham from Montreal. They re-signed RJ Harris. They got Darvin Adams, a veteran who knows Lapalese very well from his time in Winnipeg. They also rebuilt the offensive line. Darius Sirocco came in from Hamilton. They were able to get Ucombre Williams from the Calgary Stampeders, Hunter Stewart from BC, and second overall pick, Zach Pelios, a local product from the Ottawa GGs, not to mention a potential starting center in Cyril Hogan St. Don, the center from the Laval Rouge-et-Or, who they got at a great value in the second round, if indeed he does become a starter. On defense, they raided the Montreal Alouettes. In came Money Hunter, Patrick Levels as the Sam linebacker, and Ty Cranston to support on free safety and special teams duties. I believe the most important thing is they have a quarterback. Paul Lapalese has said to Jeremiah Masoli, your job is to give the team hope. The question is, how fast can he gel with all of these different pieces, not to mention them?
That's a good point. It's really hard to go from one place where you were successful to go to a place that's struggling. And if Jeremiah, like I know of him, from what I remember, he's a gamer and he's going to fit right in. You don't necessarily have to play his system, but you do play to his strengths. And you can open, especially with getting Darvin Adams, that's pretty good. I do know a little bit about Darvin Adams. They got some weapons now. Don't sleep on Ottawa right now. They retooling, and they had the number 2 overall pick. I was kind of following the draft a little bit, but I did not know they had the 2nd overall pick. That's pretty darn good right there, man. I got to give it to him.
Top of all those receivers and offensive linemen, his backfield mate William Powell, who knows the Red Blacks organization very well from his time there previously, is back in the fold, but he has never been with Jeremiah Masoli. And so much of what they want to do is have a unique dynamic in that backfield between Masoli and Powell that will open everything up. They're going to have to feel each other out and get on the same page with both the playbook and on the actual field working together.
There's got to be chemistry. I'll agree with that.
Defense, specifically Patrick Levels in that front 7, they will have the ability, with Mike Benavides as defensive coordinator, to be a much more aggressive defense. A lot of the time in 2021.
I'll say this right now. I think Ottawa will be a sleeper team. Ottawa might be a sleeper team this year, you guys. They making some moves, and Ottawa, I know Ottawa's had a real funky history over like the last 30-something years, but this might be the first time they actually might be a competitive team, and they will be a sleeper. I ain't saying they finna be top of the division. I ain't finna say they be, you know, they will be something. They'll be a team that could possibly, maybe, if their chips are played right. Chips, cards, whatever. Their cards are played right. That's the saying. Their cards are dealt right. They could be a sleeper team and might make a move in the playoffs. So, I don't know. You got Jeremiah Masoli. That's a move, man. I can't say that enough. That's a move.
They were behind, they were sitting back, they were trying to survive. Jeremiah Masoli is going to put up points. Paul Appelese is going to have an improved offense this year. They will not
to go from 16 points to maybe 30
defense.
It's elite.
They will profit,
but it's possible.
They will have a greater opportunity.
Okay, let's check out the BC Lions. Now, understand y'all that, you know, I know a little bit, but I don't know everything. That's why we're taking the time to watch these previews, and we can all understand the game a little better. And I like what I'm seeing from Ottawa. That's something that says a whole lot about them. They're trying. They want to compete, and I like teams that want to compete. They know they've made moves. They understand the last season was terrible, so they're trying to avenge themselves. I ain't saying, like I said, I'm not saying they're gonna go to the Grey Cup or anything. Don't quote me on that. I think that they could be a bottom tier seed, and they can make it possibly. Just off of having Jeremiah Masoli gives hope. Coming off of the Grey Cup loss, so he gonna have something to prove. He really is.
Here with your team preview of the
BC Lions.
2022 BC Lions. The last time that we saw the Lions on the field, they were 5-9, fourth place in the West Division. They had every chance to make the playoffs down the stretch. They had an opportunity to play against the Toronto Argonauts, a team that they were battling with. They lost in overtime after having 3 missed field goal attempts. Then the next week, they went to Hamilton and lost that game by 8. And the one that hurt likely the most, they were still alive against the Calgary Stampeders for 3rd in the West. They lost by 10 at home. They did end up having 22.3 points per game, which was 4th in the Canadian Football League. Problem, they ended up giving up 364.9 yards per game on defense. Michael Riley led the CFL in passing in what would eventually become known as his final year in the Canadian Football League. Lucky Whitehead emerged as a huge scoring threat, 4 receiving touchdowns, 2 kick return touchdowns. Brian Burnham continued to make fantastic grabs. And the defense, they found stars. Bo Lacumbo won Canadian of the Year in the CFL, and Rookie of the Year went to middle linebacker and former first overall pick, Jordan Williams. What has happened since we last saw the BC Lions on the field? Well, as you know, Michael Riley has officially retired. That means that Nathan Rourke has been named the starter as of now. The defense, they loaded up in free agency. They went out and got Steven Stove Richardson, who unfortunately has an injury that will keep him out for a large portion of the season reportedly. They also added Woody Barron, Matthew Betts. They got themselves David Menard, who led the Montreal Alouettes in sacks in 2021, including in the draft with Joshua Archibald out of McGill and Nathan Cherry, the 3rd overall selection.
They had the 3rd overall pick too?
From the Saskatchewan Huskies. What do we expect from the BC Lions in 2022? Well, the first thing, the most important thing, is what type of quarterback player are you going to get? Nathan Rourke, I believe, is an exceptional talent, has every opportunity to have success. But what will he actually be, and how will they create an offense around Nathan Rourke that allows him to be successful and get comfortable quickly? I have faith he'll do it. Much of BC's season is going to rely on that quarterback in that system built out by offensive coordinator Jordan McSimon. The next note of interest for the BC Lions, in my opinion, is the front 7 cohesion. We've already got Boom Watcham up there. They've invested in young talent. I didn't think they would be so heavy in free agency targeting these players on the front 7. You got Bo Lacumbo and Jordan Williams, as I mentioned. Your Sam linebacker spot, Uches Purifoy is going to come back into the fold. So many bodies in, but they really have to come together and play as a group, especially with the hash marks being squeezed. They're going to have to figure out how to defend against the run with a group of players, many of whom are getting used to each other. And final note for me, if they get quality quarterback plays from Nathan Rourke, the BC Lions are...
Again, so pretty much what he's saying is BC Lions defense has to gel as well as their offense. Rourke gives me Tebow vibes, and he's not a lefty. So, are you gonna make the offense surround around him, or are you going to just use the offense you already had with Riley retiring? Is the question. Are you gonna create a whole new offense, or are you just gonna stick with what you have to see if he's gonna be successful? And I always like to see like a 4 to 5 game window of, all right, we're gonna roll with the punches with our original offense. And if that doesn't work, then we're going to dumb it down a little bit, make some changes, make adjustments, and then we're going to give the keys to Rourke and see if he's going to be successful with these different play calls. Because it's not, offense is tricky more than defense. Defense, you just make adjustments, go play, find ball, see ball, get ball. But offense is science. It's more scientific than anything else. And you got to be meticulous about what you call, and especially with those lines being squeezed in a little more, you're going to lose certain play calls that you're going to have. So I don't know. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen with Rourke at quarterback.
Playoff team in my mind, likely leapfrogging somebody like the Calgary Stampeders. But they have to get to that point, and the defense has to lead the way with all of the money they've invested in free agency. If they are not top 3 in the CFL in sacks, pressures, and being able to limit the run, that would be a disappointment for me. Such an interesting team heading into the season. We'll see how it all shakes out as they begin training camp coming up shortly.
All right, we're going to watch one more just
Marshall Ferguson here with your team preview of
the other one I wanted to watch was the Edmonton Elks. Now, again, don't know much about the Edmonton Elks. I know when they were the Eskimos, they had some pretty filthy quarterbacks. Warren Moon. I think they had David Archer. They had David Archer? Comment down below if they had David Archer. Was it? No, Kerwin Bell. When they had Kerwin Bell. Chris Vargas, I think. Was it Vargas? I think it was Vargas. But yeah, they had some pretty solid quarterbacks. Let's see what they're about. I'm interested.
Here with your preview of the 2022 Edmonton Elks. The last time that we saw the Elks on the field, it was not pretty. They were just 3-11, dead last in the CFL's Western Division.
So they probably had the number 1 overall pick.
7 points per game in 2021 and scored just 17.6 per game. They gave up the most points off of turnovers, 101, which is not surprising considering that they also led the league in interceptions thrown with 20 on the year. Looking forward, what have the Edmonton Elks done to try and change their futures and move into the next generation of Elks football? First, they hired Victor Cui this offseason as the president of the Elks Association. He is somebody who brings home local talent and interest in the community and has tried to reinvigorate them through a variety of projects and initiatives. One of the first things he did was go out and get himself a head coach and general manager, someone who could do both of the jobs. Chris Jones. He was with the Toronto Argonauts last season. He moves in, he'll handle the defense as well and be very hands-on with every aspect of the football operation. And one of the first things Chris Jones did was go out and get G. Roy Simon to be his assistant general manager from the BC Lions. In terms of CFL free agency, there were a couple of losses for the Edmonton Elks. Tremaine Washington, defensive back, moved on to the Ottawa Red Blacks. Greg Ellingson moved on to Winnipeg in free agency, and Derek Moncrief, the talented linebacker, moved on to Saskatchewan. But I believe that the Edmonton Elks signings far outweigh their losses.
Hey, don't sleep on Saskatchewan right now. They got my boy Duke Williams there too, so that's pretty good, man. I'm about to look at their video of their offensive highlights this season here in a bit, but we're gonna break down some of their film too. But yeah, don't sleep on Saskatchewan right there.
They ended up getting a couple of Chris Jones' favorites and defenders, Ed Gainey and Dion Lacey. Then they got themselves Mark Cordy, another offensive lineman from the Ottawa Red Blacks who comes home, former University of Alberta Golden Bear. And of course, Kenny Lawler, one of the leading receivers of 2021 from Winnipeg. I believe the first...
So they took from the champs and are building on that.
Who is your quarterback? Nick Arbuckle was acquired late last season, did not see game action for Edmonton. Since then, J.T. Barrett, formerly of Ohio.
Okay. When I heard about this a few days ago, I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know if, JT would be that guy to start for Edmonton, because JT Barrett was really good in college. He was amazing. All Ohio State quarterbacks look great in college. They're one-read quarterbacks. But can he adjust to the game is the question. Can JT adjust to the rules and be able to play football? Those are two totally different things. And if JT's as good as we know he is, he'll do it. But I have my concerns and my reservations. So I'm hoping JT can get acclimated to the game and the speed of everything and the rules, and he'll be, because majority of what the CFL is for American guys is the rules and how things work and understanding the width of the field, the depth and the width of the field. So if he can get that stuff down, he'll be all right.
Ohio State has been acquired alongside Khalil Tate from Arizona.
Oh, they got Khalil Tate? Oh! Start Khalil. Start Khalil. I swear. Hey, Edmonton, if you're listening, start Khalil Tate. By God, that man is a wizard. No Gilbert Arenas, but he's a wizard. Ooh, that's a steal.
Mike Beaudry is a Canadian quarterback out of Idaho, formerly of UConn. There's some question as to whether or not he will stick at the quarterback position or move on. It becomes an interesting thread considering that with the 8th overall selection, they just selected Trey Ford, the talented quarterback from the Waterloo Warriors. How will Edmonton chop up what they're going to do with their quarterback reps at training camp, and how will they get an honest answer and appraisal for who will lead this organization forward? In the middle, I believe this is all about the offensive line. Near the football, as they're sorting out who the quarterback's going to be, they will lean on the running game. And that means if you have James Wilder Jr. in fantasy, you will be getting a lot of touches. But the reality is, with the Edmonton Elks this season, they will lean on the defense. Their success will come through defense. Chris Jones' teams are based in defense, running the football, and trying to maximize quarterback play. With Kenny Long.
So pretty much Chris Jones is like Pete Carroll. That's all I'm gonna say. Comment down below if you watch Canadian football, if you watch CFL. Comment down below if he's anything like Pete Carroll. I don't know.
While they're on the roster, the upside in the passing game is large. But James Wilder Jr. and the defense will tell the story as to how far Chris Jones can go in his first journey back.
Okay. Edmonton, you got a quarterback controversy. You got two brothers who, one's a pocket quarterback, the other one is a dual threat. One's JT, one is Khalil. I'm rolling with Khalil. I want Khalil to start. That's just me preferably. But again, it depends. If you're gonna run the ball, then you can do different things. You can mix it up with Khalil. I mean, you can do a lot of things. With JT, if you just want a guy who can throw the deep ball and make good plays, then you want JT. I don't know about the other guy from Idaho. I don't know much about him. I can't really speak on him, but you got a quarterback controversy, and you got to figure it out, Chris Jones, because if you can't get that quarterback right, you got a solid O-line, but you want to run the ball, man, you in trouble. So comment down below what I should react to next, you guys. The next video I'm going to be doing is I'm going to either do Saskatchewan's offense and watch some of their offensive stuff from this season, from last season, or I'm going to do a Throwback Thursday, or I might just hold on to the Throwback Thursday for Flashback Friday for what I got in mind. So yeah, I'll probably just do Saskatchewan Rough Riders and do that one right there. So again, you guys know the routine. We end these videos. Continue to be great, strive for greatness, keep your head on a swivel, be safe in these streets, and we are out of here.